Hello and welcome to Ask a Therapist. I am that therapist, Jonathan Decker, and we polled our Mended Light community for what they wanted to pick my brain about. And today's question is, how do you know when your marriage is over? Right? I get this from a lot of people, and I've known a lot of people in my life where it feels like their marriage is going nowhere. It's not getting any better. They're unhappy and unfulfilled.
I am done. I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this.
They feel lonely even though they're with somebody. And there's a legitimate worry. If I stay, will I be wasting years? Is it time to hang it up? Or if I keep fighting and trying a little longer, could we turn it around? And it's hard to know. So while it's not an exact science, I want to tell you what my experience and what I've read and researched would tell me on that subject. The first thing is I want to share with you my sympathy. You didn't get married for this to happen. You got married so that you could feel connected, so that you could feel loved and respected and safe. And you got married so you could give that to somebody else. Maybe you feel like they're not giving that to you now, or they're not letting you give that to them. Maybe you feel like things are hopeless, or you made a terrible mistake. Or maybe you feel like you married the right person and you don't know what happened to them. Also possible that you feel like you've changed a lot and it's no longer a fit.
What the hell are you doing in my house if you hate me so much? Why the hell are you married to me?
First thing to recognize is that the Beatles were wrong, as much as I love them. When they sang all you need is love, love is all you need, it's not true. Love is a beautiful, wonderful thing. But for a relationship to last and go the distance, you need trust. You need respect. You need safety. You need to feel like you're a partnership and not a caretaker. I see a lot of couples come to therapy in what I call the 11th hour, meaning they come to see me and they say, well, we're probably going to get a divorce, but we wanted to be able to say that we tried everything. And I'm not a huge fan of that. It feels like they're dumping a hot mess in my lap and saying, fix it. And I'm just thinking, you should have come years ago, at the very least months ago. And what often happens is one partner has been saying for years that things are rough, and the other is acting like this just happened last week. They just kind of wake up to it. I want to answer this question, how do you know if your marriage is done? By answering a different question first. How do you know if you should stay in your marriage? How do you know if it's worth fighting for?
I wanted to be married. I'd already lost. You didn't love me as much as I loved you.
I would say be done if there's chronic abuse, for sure. If there's chronic infidelity, lying, dishonesty, if this is a pattern over years and there's been many, many chances to change and people and your partners promised that they would. If you're getting no indicator that things are actually going to get better on those three major things, abuse, infidelity, or dishonesty, it's probably time to hang it up. For some people, one instance of abuse, one instance of infidelity is enough to say I'm done. For others, there is I can forgive and we can move forward, but things have to change. Now, in cases of infidelity, abuse, or dishonesty, if you choose to stay, only stay if your partner is actively working on it. And actively working on it doesn't mean, I'll never do it again, baby. I'm going to try harder. It means I'm going to figure out what went wrong with me. I'm going to learn and understand how this even happened so I can intervene way before it happens again and redirect. It means being humble enough to get help.
We're back to that. Are we back there?
If you're dealing with somebody where there's infidelity, dishonesty, or abuse, and they're not willing to get help and they're not willing to learn how to be different, what that tells me is they're putting their comfort above your own. Therapy makes them uncomfortable. Getting help, they don't want to really put themselves out there and have somebody judge them, which, by the way, if it's quality therapy, it's not about judgment, just so you know. And they may say things like, I don't believe therapy can help me, which may be what they actually believe, but what they're really saying is, I don't want to do the work.
I think there's been a misunderstanding here. See, we signed up for the fun stuff with the touchy-feely shit being optional.
Now, before I continue, I want to direct you to a video to watch after this one is over called Partner Acting Like a Jerk. I feel like given today's conversation, it's probably right up many of your alley. What do you do when your partner is acting like Mr. Hyde instead of Dr. Jekyll? Every person who's been abusive, unfaithful, or dishonest, who has actually turned it around and changed and been the partner that they needed to be, has been humble enough to say, this is out of my control and I need support. So that's the first thing. Now, what about cases where it's not one of the big three of abuse, dishonesty, or infidelity? It's just we're very, very different, and try as we might, we can't seem to reconcile. I can actually relate to this. Alicia and I are very happy and very much in love. We're very radically different people. And being together, I recognized early on, I think so did she, it was either going to break us or it was going to humble us and refine us and help us to grow into better versions of ourselves. And that's exactly what it's done. It's been hard. It's been worth it. How do you work through major differences in communication and conflict resolution? In how you work together, how you live together? First of all, is each partner willing to do the work? See, any successful marriage requires a high degree of mutual tolerance. What that means is there's always going to be things about your spouse that drive you a little crazy. There's always going to be things about this partnership that aren't exactly how you want them to be, more often than not, more likely than not.
Jesus, Brooke, you're acting crazy again.
Don't you call me crazy. I am not crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
Just
I didn't
did.
call you crazy. No, I didn't.
The question is, can we find the balance between tolerance and accepting one another and being able to hold each other accountable and pushing ourselves to grow, to be better versions of ourselves? If it's all you need to change, you need to grow, then it's an extreme. I'm trying to change who you are to your core. I don't accept you. It's conditional love. If it's all unconditional, if it's all you do whatever you want, you be whoever you want, no matter how it affects me, then we're putting ourselves on this sacrificial altar, and that's not a partnership. That's what concubines do. Like, I know I'm being blunt, but a concubine lives to serve not a husband, but a master. Every need of that master, but it's not reciprocal. It's not mutual affection. It's not mutual respect. And if you are nothing but sacrificing yourself for your spouse, that's not a partnership. But that's also, like I say, the flip side, if all you're doing is trying to change them, we need to find the middle ground. And a good way to do that is to make a list, right? So get a piece of paper, draw 2 lines on it so that you have 3 columns. And I want you to answer these questions. I want you to put it at the top. Appreciate, tolerate, non-negotiable. These 3 columns represent differences. Appreciate, what are the things your spouse brings to the table that are different than you that you actually appreciate? Tolerate, what are the things that you're not crazy about your spouse, but they're not deal breakers? There's going to be mutual tolerance. I'm going to live with this. And what are the deal breakers? Now, here's a key. A lot of people put things in the deal breakers column that really belong in the tolerate column. And they put things in the tolerate column that really should be in the appreciate column. But deal breakers should be nothing more or nothing less than things that are serious and irreconcilable. Oftentimes, marriages can be saved, and not just saved, but thrive through mutual tolerance, mutual appreciation on the one hand, and actively trying every day to better meet your spouse's needs and be better. It is a delicate balance, but it's worth doing. Now, when it comes to whether or not your marriage can be saved or whether you should be done, again, if they are habitually dishonest, abusive, or unfaithful, and they're not taking the steps to get help, to make changes, to understand how this happens and to do things differently, or if they don't really want to be in the marriage, if you're the only one trying to make things differently, then it's probably time to hang it up. Or at the very least, well, frankly, with all of this, a skilled counselor can help with deciding, counselor's not going to make the decision for you, but helping you see what's actually going on objectively, helping you weigh your options and make the best decision for you. A good question to ask is, if nothing changed, could I be happy? If nothing changed, could I be happy in this relationship? If the answer is yes, you definitely have your answer. If the answer is no, then okay, maybe things can change. People change all the time, so do couples. If I didn't believe that, I'm in the wrong business. But it's not just about believing it. I see it every day. And if the answer is no, if things don't change, I won't be happy. And not only that, because it's not just about does your partner fulfill you, it's do they let you fulfill them. We have a need not just to be loved, but to love. It gives us purpose. It gives us identity.
Now, it's my fault that you don't feel satisfied.
Everything is my fault? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying
crazy.
that.
You don't look at me.
If your partner is not allowing you to do that, I'm not saying it's time to hang it up. I'm saying for almost all of this, it's time for therapy. And don't be one of these 11th hour clients who are on the doorstep of divorce. Get help sooner rather than later. I hope that this was helpful today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What do you think are good indicators for when a marriage is over or when to keep fighting for it? What's been your experience in that regard on that front? If you enjoy what we're doing here, please share, pass this along to your friends. We are counting on you to help us to grow, to help us to reach and lift more people. Here at Mended Light, our whole mission is to help you to heal and to be the very best version of yourself so that your light can shine to the world. Keep on shining because we need it. I'm Jonathan Decker. And if you have any other questions for me, for Ask a Therapist for the next video, drop those down there below. I will review those and I would love to answer those here in a video just for you and everybody else who's watching. But I'll answer your question. We'll talk to you later.